Wing. Right, we've got the tool set out and we're going to start wiring. Before we start wiring, let's just talk to you about the different types of wire that you can use. However, it is recommended that you use the aluminium wire, which is very soft and malleable, so you can bend it, especially for a tree of this nature that's very, very thin and can break very easily if you overextend. So it's important that you use the right type of wire. There's also a thin aluminium wire here. That's ideal for when I open this up and make it look all pretty. And then you've obviously got copper wire. Now, copper wire I wouldn't suggest. It's quite harder, but looking at more of a hard wood will work effectively for a season or so. But then yeah, you'd need to start using obviously the aluminium wire, because the aluminium wire, it's soft, so you can unravel it quite quickly and soon enough for wire bite with ease, without having to break or run the risk of breaking any of these long-term weighted shoots and hardwood. So yeah, alright, so I'm gonna get started. So I'm gonna grab some water and then we'll... Cool, welcome back. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using the aluminium wire because I'm quite proud of this propagated feature over here, and I don't want to break it, nor do I want to subject it to too much more stress than it being transplanted today. But it's in some nice Leaker Bonsai soil mix, so yeah, confident that it's going to survive. So basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be entering the wire into the actual soil and into the peat, the jiffy pellet in which it was propagated, just to anchor the wire itself, like such. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to loop it around quite carefully and neatly, and just give this branch some stability, and then I'll be bending it and opening it up. Okay, right, let's start. So we insert it nice and deep, right down to the bottom, and then what we do is we clamp the bottom with our finger, not too hard that it pierces or it tears the stem. What we do is we just clamp it and give it a nice steady swirl, just as a support. Okay, you'll see there, yeah. Now, as you can see, just to get it in, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, without too much, this is where the pliers come in handy, especially for when it comes to bending and holding. So like here, just give it. Wiring techniques, depending on the difficulty or the level or the advancement of the plant, it's always good to practice safe measures. And what I'm doing here is I'm pretty much, because it's a small fragile plant and I want this to stem up and the stem to get at least a little bit thicker, just want to initially make sure that I'm able to secure the plant well enough where there is enough space so I can actually get the wire around and start vigorously playing without hurting her. Alright, so I'll be back with the best possible, neatest wire solution for this type of plant. See you shortly. Okay, cool. So everyone, I thought this is quite a difficult tree, especially it being so fragile, to wire. So it's important that your wire grip and your wire technique is to the point where it's not overcrowding the branches. So it works. Always use like a chopstick, because generally by using a chopstick to guide it around, you're not going to harm or hurt or break any of the branches. That's the last thing that I want to do. I don't want to get it in there with this plant itself. When you remove the leaves or play the root, it makes like a horrible it's got like a horrible, well, it's a smelly smell, but working with it is a true experience, and it's so exhilarating. So, but yeah, so as you can see, all I'm doing is I'm just wiring the tree or the cutting to the point where I can get it to manipulate and bend it without harming it to the extent. I should have used thinner wire maybe, but I think powdery stuff coming off there. So I think that'll do for now, because now at least I can bend it and open it up a little bit here. Let me just move on. Okay. So now you can see I can open the tree up quite nicely. I can manipulate it. Okay. Now over time this tree will mature and the style will start changing as the seasons change as well, because obviously you've got a growth, and then in winter it goes into dormancy. So there's 2 branches here, so there will be something we can play with, and then here we'll be able to knit these over quite nicely, especially depending on where I'll clear these negative spaces out over here of these little internodes of these branches, so it's one even. And yeah, over time as we progress you'll find that we'll take pictures, and that's what it's like for having fun with bonsai. Thank you for joining me for now. I will be back with the minor detail wiring to give an example of how you can style the plant to ensure that you can get the negative balance and get rid of the negative spaces and balance your plant out according to the apex and obviously symmetry. So catch you soon. Great, welcome back. So here we have thinner wire. I'm not too sure the millimeters on this, I should have checked, but it really suffices for what I'm going to do here in light of the job that's required. So I'm merely going to double twist this and double it up, because normally what will happen is you will have on the end of some of the branch spaces, you'll kind of have like little internodes and nodes. So you'll want to wire 2 different forks, because then you can at least bend these and shape the plant and train it according to how you want it to look in the future. So I'm going to take some wire and I'm going to start with this branch pretty much over here from the bottom right up, and I'll split it off to this branch and then up the middle of the middle branch. So let me twist my wire, grip the wire, and we'll be back. Welcome back, Mensa. So you'll see, as you can see, I've double looped or twisted the wire around, and then I've left it open for where it can open up to run via the fork. So what you do is you first carefully, what I will do here is I'll insert it around the main wire, and all I'll do is I'll just, because when you take the wire off this, once the plant starts getting older, you'll need to unloop everything, what I recommend, especially with this tree that's so thin in nature. I think, after a while, once the wire bite kicks in on these babies, it can really hurt them. So this is merely just for support. The wire doesn't look neat. Like I said, this is amateur footage. It's gonna get better. It's part of the story in how I'm growing my YouTube channel. And yeah, thank you for being in this, sharing this moment with me, and for supporting me with this content. Show you, we've got some ideas as to how we can make this more interesting and more interactive. So you'll see now, I have brought, these trees are so delicate. I brought the wire around, I've split it already, because I want to train this branch into growing in a specific way. Because over time, I want to train the canopy of this plant in getting like little clusters, because these plants get nice pretty little flowers, white flowers in summertime. So that's why they call it the Sarissa snow rose. Okay, so it's important that on the actual fitting or around the branch is that it's secure, or else you will have the risk of it bending and breaking like this one might have. However, I'll clamp it there. There we go. Okay, and you know what, we've got a bit of wasted wire. However, we'll just use this around the second branch, which is what I want to do show. Okay, there, so you'll see on this one here there's a split of 3 already, which is going to make a nice cluster. So let's be careful and not break this one. So we'll just manipulate it with a bit of support, and then like that. We'll take this one away to open the branch up. Bring this one down like so. And that one like that. There we go. At a later stage, we'll just let this one get a bit more of a hardwood, and then we'll just push these through to the middle, and they can train back to go up. So now, if you turn these on their side, okay, like that, they'll start growing against gravity, and will start giving some nice clusters once I clear out all the negative space. But this will be a continuous journey. Thank you for joining me on this session and for taking the patience to watch the entire video. Those that have liked, found this informative, please subscribe, it's for free. And also be sure to feel free to look through all the chapters